The playoffs as a whole has averaged 1.2 million viewers, a 14% increase from last year. There is no biggest rating in 25 years. There's just this rating starting this year because you don't have anything to fairly compare it to. They get to do the, oh, and Caitlin Clark wasn't involved. Well, how many more millions of TVs did you add exactly? Inquiring minds want to know. To get to a crucial piece of information that is literally one sentence long.
The sports headlines say one thing: most watched WNBA Finals in 25 years. But if that line made you proud, you might want to hold up for a second. What if I told you the methodology behind those numbers literally changed mid-game, and the media just kept celebrating as if nothing happened? This isn't a rant about basketball. It's a story about how data can be spun to sell an agenda. Stay tuned. We're opening the fine print they don't want you to read. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever notice how every sports site drops the same headline whenever the WNBA Finals end? Front Office Sports said it straight. WNBA Finals most viewed in 25 years despite possible Aces sweep. You see that line everywhere, like some kind of copy-paste celebration.
In the first time using the best-of-7 format, the WNBA Finals have averaged 1.9 million viewers, a peak of 2.5, 1.2, a peak of 1.4. It's funny how this worked out for them too. Caitlin Clark didn't get to play, but at the same time, this new methodology came in. So not only do they get to try to run a victory lap, which recently changed its tracking methods to include set-top boxes and smart TVs. These numbers are inflated. Read the fine print. Stop spreading nonsense. Right here, Nielsen did not.
It feels good, right? Feels like the league is getting the respect it's been chasing for decades. Fans share it with pride, and for a moment, it sounds like the WNBA finally broke through. But there's a small problem hiding right under that pride, a detail that gets buried so deep nobody bothers to challenge it. That 25 years part sounds historic, but the numbers being compared aren't even speaking the same language anymore. The media knows that headline stirs emotion better than any stat breakdown. They frame it like a victory parade, not a data discussion. And once the story spreads, asking questions suddenly looks like hating the league. That's the trick. Positivity becomes a shield that deflects scrutiny. Let's say you start counting everything: TVs at bars, screens in airports, and dorm rooms with the game playing in the background. Overnight, your viewership looks sky high, even if the same exact number of people are actually watching. It's not fraud in the traditional sense, but it sure bends perspective. And since most readers stop after the first 2 sentences of an article, those critical details never see the light of day. So that record-setting headline? It's not about accuracy, it's about energy. It's built to make fans feel like they're witnessing history. But when you dig beneath the celebration, you see how flimsy that 25-year claim really is. The record exists in headlines, not in data. And now that we've cracked how the framing works, it's time to figure out what really changed in the way those ratings were counted in the first place. Everyone says numbers don't lie, but what if the ruler itself changed halfway through the game? That's exactly what happened with TV ratings.
The Fever annihilate that in regular season games all the time. 1.3 million viewers, a peak of 1.6. They annihilate that on a regular basis. Game audience metrics are getting a bump this year from Nielsen. Let me repeat that. Audience metrics are getting a bump this year from Nielsen. Games 1 and 3 were on ESPN. Game 2 was on ABC. Friday night's Game 4 will be on ESPN. At 1.5 million viewers, the series through 3 games is averaging 13% more viewers than last year.
Nielsen, the company that decides what counts as a real view, completely rewrote how those numbers are collected. For decades, everything was based on a small group of households representing the rest of the country. That's what people mean when they say panel only. But starting in 2020, Nielsen decided to add something new: out-of-home viewing. That means TVs in bars, airports, gyms, dorms, and anywhere else that isn't a private living room suddenly started counting as official views. Here's the kicker: it didn't roll out everywhere at once. Nielsen didn't reach full coverage until 2025. Before that, none of those out-of-home screens were counted at all. So when a headline says most viewed in 25 years, it's comparing this new boosted measurement to data that never included those extra eyeballs. The result makes old years look tiny, even when the actual audience might have been the same or even larger.
That makes it the most viewed series through 3 games since 2000. A 2-game sweep that posted a 1.54 million viewership rating. In order to get the full story, and look, I'll give you guys credit. You're pushing back on this nonsense. So we're going to run, how many, what is this? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to go way down here to the 5th paragraph. Begin including out-of-home viewing in its estimates until 2020. And did not do so in 100% of the markets until 2025.
And it wasn't just about counting new places. The system itself changed from panel only to something Nielsen calls big data plus panel. That means they now mix data from set-top boxes and smart TVs with traditional samples. The math behind those numbers is completely different. Think of it like changing the size of a basketball rim mid-season, then bragging that someone broke the scoring record. Of course the stats look better. They're being measured with a different tool. So when reports claim the WNBA Finals averaged around 1.5 million viewers, those figures are built on this new foundation. Many journalists understand that, but still run with the eye-catching headline. The truth is simple. Calling 202 for the most viewed in 25 years means nothing when the way we count changed entirely. Real fans don't need inflated stats. They need transparency and an honest scoreboard. Understanding how viewership is counted matters just as much as knowing the score on the court. When the numbers change because the method changes, the story behind the sport does too. Fans should always ask what's behind any new record-breaking headline before buying into the hype. That question alone keeps the system honest. If you love the game, protect it by staying informed. Don't settle for headlines that sound too perfect. Transparency keeps trust alive, and knowing the details turns you from just another viewer into the kind of fan who actually understands what real growth looks like.